My name is Jason Matralis. I've been in the Marines for 9 years. I'm still currently in with 1st LAR. I was in 1-3, I was in 03-11, and then I lat moved, and now I'm an LV crewman. Been deployed 4 combat deployments, and 1 like Liberty pump. Spent a lot of time overseas. I'm getting out in about 6 months, and I'm done. I played airsoft even before I joined the Marines. I've been playing for years. I had found it online, ordered some guns and stuff, and me and my friends had gone out and we played a couple times. And then when I joined the Marines, I still wanted to continue to play airsoft. And I met a couple guys, and I kind of talked them into it. So then we went out and we started playing. And then when I was because I was stationed in Hawaii, I got hooked up with a bunch of guys, and it was Double Tap, and that was the team name. And I played with them every weekend. We'd go out and we'd play. We were pretty big. We were in magazines, and the guys I played with, they were corpsmen for recon, and they had been deployed to Singapore and met some guys out there, and then like these Singapore guys wanted to start their own team and stuff. So now there's like a Double Tap Singapore and then here and all that. But it all came down like guys were leaving, guys were getting out, guys were moving to other places, and we all kind of split up, and we just couldn't keep the team going. I really have actually no idea if the team is still going, but I've been playing for years. And then when I came from Hawaii to California, met a couple guys, kind of tried to talk them into it. Some of them didn't want to do it, some of them did, and then we just kind of started going out and playing, and now there's like a bunch of guys go out all the time. And I love airsoft. I've been playing for years. Well, after my first deployment, I never noticed a difference. It was more the people around me would notice the difference, because I had no idea. I didn't know. I thought it was the same person. I had no idea. But everybody else was noticing these slight changes and everything. And the more and more I deployed, the more and more, like definitely my first 2 deployments were definitely the worst. And then the last 2 weren't so bad, but I'm very good at shutting off my emotions. And I've been doing it my entire life. Just been, if something gets hard or something gets, difficult to deal with or something, I shut off, and there's nothing, And now that I'm going through therapy and I'm talking to a therapist about the stuff, a lot of the shit is coming back to me, and I'm starting to remember more and more of the shit. Well, PTSD really hasn't affected the marriage. Me and my wife are very happy. I love my wife, and it has not affected that. In fact, she's actually helped me a lot with it. She understands the triggers. She understands that when we go to a restaurant, I have to sit with my back against the wall, and I have to see the exit. And if I don't, because there's times when we go out and there's no tables, and you fucking sit where you sit, and I'll sit there the entire time, and I'll just be uncomfortable, and I have one-word answers, and I'm very short, and I'm not comfortable. I hate it. But she's very understanding, and she's very good at helping me deal with these things. And she listens, and she's trying very, very much to help, and she's been doing great at it. I wouldn't say it has affected the marriage, but it has affected social situations. Like my home is my safe zone, and when I'm home, I'm safe. But whenever I leave the house, I'm not safe. And it's fucking stupid, because I am safe, because I'm in America. I'm safe. I'm not, but it's affected that. It's affected my ability to go out and speak to people, and because I fucking hate everybody. I hate them all. I hate everybody. Doesn't matter who they are, and I have no social skills when it comes to talking to people, because it's terrible, and it's shitty because of the whole PTSD thing and all this, and alcohol has become quite good at helping me cope with these things. So like if we have to go out, I will drink beforehand to go out, because then I feel a little more comfortable, like meeting people, and even talking to somebody. Like it doesn't matter who they are, like even if it's like a friend of my wife or a friend of somebody, somebody I know, and then I have to go meet new people. I'm not. I have no idea who you are. Or like you know, going to the mall to buy something, or going to a store to buy something. Every moment I'm there, everything in my body is urging me to get the fuck out. Like, leave, just go, you don't need it, go. And I have to fight through that every fucking day to go do things that I need to do in my personal life. And that's fucking shitty.
You said the first few deployments you had were pretty bad. Is there anything you want to share about that? Like an experience you had? That you know affected you and still affects you today?
I think it's more of an accumulation of all the stuff. Because, I mean, there were fucking shitty times and there were good times. But I mean, there's a few things that stick out in my mind. I don't mind talking about them. It's just it's not so much like one thing. It's the multitude of all of the shit. So my issue, like my major issue, is that I can't understand how someone doing what I had to do, because I had to, it was me or them, and I had no choice. Or like in instances, it wasn't even me or them, it was somebody else. That, you know, we had a little girl that was, they had laid out some, we call them toe poppers. They were little mines, they were tiny, and all it was to do was to blow your fucking ankle apart. And they laid them across the street, and I'm not sure if they were aiming at Humvees or what, because we drove around in Humvees everywhere. And they laid them across the street, and as we were driving back to where we stayed, where our fob, we pull up, and this little girl was mangled. She, you know, blew her hands off, and she was all tore up because she was playing with the damn wires, and the damn thing went off her face, and shit like that. Like, my problem is I don't understand how people can do these things to other people. You know, like, you have people that are in jail for life for doing the shit that we did the same thing, or like shit that I didn't even do. Like some other person set that shit in there for us. You know, it was to hit us, but it ended up hitting this little girl. And like, how could you put that in there, aim towards us, and think that nobody else is going to notice, or you know, somebody else might not come along, and like, how could a person do that? It doesn't make sense to me. And now, and like with myself, like doing the shit that I've done, you come home and you go, and you know, you integrate it back into society, and you're just like, oh, fucking, you know, go to the store, buy groceries and shit, and you know, you're normal now. And then you're not normal anymore. You're not. There's a huge disconnect that has happened. You've done things that normal human beings should not do. And you're forced into these situations. Like, okay, you're not forced to do it because you did sign the goddamn contract, and you know, you knew what you were getting into when you signed the contract. But you don't expect the repercussions of the shit that you did. I joined the Marine Corps to go to war. I joined, you know, after 9/11. I was going. I was going to do it. That's what I was doing. And I thought I was mentally prepared to do this, because I didn't necessarily like people before, and now I fucking hate them. But I was prepared to do that. I knew what I was going to do. Like, I knew I was going to be infantry. I was going to be an 11, and I was going to go out, and that was my job, was to shoot at other people. And I thought mentally I was prepared to do this. And I was, for years I was mentally prepared. But just recently, within like, I'd say about the last year, maybe a little more than a year, I've just noticed subtle differences in the way I've lived. I sleep like shit. I sleep like 2 hours a night. I wake up constantly with, you know, I have these fucking nightmares. And then I wake up and I'm sweaty and I'm freaking out. I sleepwalk. I've actually walked downstairs and opened the front door, went back upstairs and went back to sleep, and don't remember the shit in the morning. And then when I wake up in the morning and I go downstairs and I see the front doors open, I freak the fuck out, and then I gotta clear the rest of the house. And, you know, just like these subtle little difference shit that I used to not do before. And now I'm doing it. And talking with other Marines who have, that's basically the reason why I started seeing a therapist, was because another Marine had told me, you know, we were talking about stuff, and we were sharing stories and things, and he had already started his seeing a therapist and everything, and when him and I had talked, he was like, you should go talk to the mental health thing. And I was like, all right. Went over there, talked to them, and explained certain things to these people. It's hard because they're a fucking stranger. You know, I can't. I don't want to talk to a goddamn stranger. What the hell? I don't know you, and I'm going to tell you all this stuff. So I told her some things, and then she gets this book out and looking through it, and she's like, "Oh, I'm going to read these things to you and tell me how many of these you have." And she was like, first one was like 7, and I was like, "Yeah, I got about 5 or 6, and 3 or 4." We went through this whole thing, and she goes, "What do you think I just read to you?" And I was like, it sounded like the definition of PTSD to me, and she goes, "Yeah, that's exactly what it is." So now, it's shitty to admit, because I thought I was stronger than that. I thought I was better than that. And then, it's just shitty. Think about all that shit. And then, I don't know. A lot of that shit's been fucking me up a lot more lately. Because some of them things, people should not do them things. I like it because airsoft is more realistic than paintball. I never really got into paintball. A lot of my friends play paintball. I never got into it. I like the airsoft because of the realism. And yes, because of the whole PTSD thing and like shit I've done and all that, and how I'm not the same person I used to be and all that shit. But still, when I play airsoft, it gives me I wouldn't say it's therapeutic, but it reminds me of those times. And like I said, it helps me with that transition from, being in combat and doing that crazy stuff and actually shooting at human beings to being here and, shooting at human beings, but it's fake, and that helps a lot with, like, the stress and, like, when the memories come up and you think about the shit and you're sitting at home and you're like, fuck, and then you start drinking and then it gets bad. But then, you go out there and you play and you go, okay, I'm shooting at these people, but it's not real, and then it kind of, like, I guess it kind of sort of softens the blow when I remember things, and I think that's a lot of the airsoft thing. Is it softens that and makes me seem like it makes me seem less of a terrible person when I play the airsoft. It helps me cope with it, I guess. It's sort of like you're with a bunch of guys who know what's going on, because everybody I play with, they've all ex-military or they're still in the military, and we all go and play, and we go. But it's a group of guys, and we go out there and. I don't want to say that I miss some of the shit I've done, but, like, it helps me kind of go from that transition to it being such a real thing that has done what it did to my brain, my mentality, and kind of helps it. When I play the game, I understand that it's not real bullets, and you're not actually shooting people, but you're still kind of, and it helps that transition from being fucking crazy to being in society and being able to, function in the public and with people, and I think that's a good thing. I fully believe in what Warfighter Airsoft is doing, because it's not about the airsoft. It's about getting the guys who. Maybe they have issues. Like, shit, I didn't realize I had issues till a year ago, and I've been here for 9 fucking years. I didn't know. But I'm starting to realize it now. And now it gets me into a group of people who sort of have, they've got the same experiences and the same thing, and they're not judgmental. They're not, like, you can come up and say whatever the hell you want. Nobody's gonna go, oh, something's wrong with you, We're gonna listen. They're gonna talk. It's good, and I believe 100% in what's going on with Warfighter Airsoft. It's going to help me because of, the whole disconnect thing, and it's going to help me not really understand, but cope with stuff. It'll soften the blow of the other stuff, of the deployments. But it's not about the airsoft. It's about helping guys who have these issues that need help, and they're afraid to get help in certain places. You can come to us. We're not judgmental. We're not going to. Nobody's going to judge or go telling this shit all over Facebook. Nobody gives a shit. We're all there to just play and just have a good time and just talk to people and just meet people and just it's good. It's a very good thing, and something I haven't seen in a very long time, and it's good. I like that.